Five friends went to a basketball game. They never came home. Their car was found on a remote mountain road. It ran perfectly. The keys were gone. The men were gone. Months later, one of them was found inside a trailer. He starved to death. Next to him was enough food to last a year. He never touched it. Another man simply vanished. His shoes were found inside that trailer, but he walked out into the snow without them. He was never seen again. A witness claimed he saw a woman holding a baby on that mountain that night. Police found no woman, no baby, no answers. This is the story of the Yuba County Five. It is a mystery that has haunted California for nearly 50 years, and it starts like this. Yuba City, California, 1978. A quiet farming town north of Sacramento, population around 20,000, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. 5 young men lived there. They were not rich, they were not famous, but they had something special. They had each other. Bill Sterling was 29, quiet, gentle. He lived with his parents. He rarely spoke much, but his friends knew he cared. His mother still made his lunch every day. Jack Hewitt was 24, the youngest, shy. He lived with his father. He followed the others. He trusted them completely. Ted Weiher was 32, a big guy, soft-hearted. He lived with his grandmother. He took care of her. She took care of him. They were each other's world. Jack Madruga was 30, the leader. He had a steady job. He owned the car, a white Nintine 689 Mercury Montego. He kept it clean. He was proud of it. Gary Mathias was 25, smart, funny, hardworking. He had a job at a hospital. He was close with his mother and 4 sisters. He was the pride of his family. But Gary carried a secret. He had schizophrenia. When he took his medication, he was fine, clear, normal. When he didn't, the world turned dark. Voices whispered, shadows moved. Reality bent. His family watched him like hawks. They made sure he took his pills. They loved him too much to lose him. The 5 men played basketball together on a team called the Gateway Gators. It was for adults with special needs, but to them, it was everything. It was friendship. It was purpose. It was family. February 24. Nintine, 78. Friday night. The men had plans. Chico State was playing a basketball game. Their own Gators had a game tomorrow. This was their night out, a chance to have fun before their big day. Jack Madruga picked everyone up in his white Mercury. Bill sat up front. Ted, Jack, Hewitt, and Gary squeezed in the back. They headed north on Highway 99, windows up, radio on. Laughing, joking, just 5 guys on a road trip. The game in Chico ended around 10 p.m. They cheered, they clapped, they had a good time. After the game, they stopped at a small market on Ivy Street, University Market. It was almost midnight. The clerk, Dennis Olgan, was locking up. He saw the white Mercury pull up. He saw 5 men get out. They were happy, smiling, joking. They grabbed snacks, Hostess fruit pies, cupcakes, a big carton of chocolate milk, some sodas. They paid in cash. Dennis said goodbye. He watched them drive away. He locked the door and went home. He never thought about them again, not until their faces were on every news station. Back in Yuba City, families waited. Gary's mother stayed up. She always waited up. She wanted to hear the door open. She wanted to know he was safe. 1 a.m. Nothing. 2 a.m. Nothing. 3 a.m. She started to panic. She called Jack Madruga's house. No answer. She called the Hewitt house. Jack's father said he wasn't home. Fear crawled into her chest. By morning, all the parents were frantic. They called the police. 5 grown men don't just vanish. But they did. 2 days passed. Nothing. No calls, no sightings, no hope. Then, on Sunday, February 26, a forest ranger named Richard McKell was driving a remote road in the Plumas National Forest. It was a rough gravel road, covered in snow, way up in the mountains near Oroville-Quincy Highway. And there it was, a white Mercury Montego, parked on the side of the road, empty. McKell checked the plates. His heart dropped. Jack Madruga, missing person. He had found the car, but where were the men? The location made no sense. It was 70 miles from Chico. To get here, they had to drive past the exit for home. They had to keep going east, up into the mountains, into a blizzard, in the middle of the night. Why? Police arrived. They checked the car. It started right up. The engine purred. It had half a tank of gas. The tires were fine. The battery was strong. There was no reason to leave it. But the keys were gone. The men were gone. Inside the car, they found personal items. A pair of sunglasses, a shoe, some of the snacks from the market, uneaten, fruit pies, cupcakes, still sitting on the back seat. The men just got out and walked away. They walked into a frozen forest, into waist-deep snow, into a blizzard, without proper clothes, without supplies, without any reason. It was insane. It was impossible. But it happened. There was another man on that mountain that night. His name was Joseph Shawns. He was driving home when his car got stuck in the snow. He tried to walk for help. Then his chest seized up. He had a heart attack. He crawled back to his car. He was trapped, sick, alone, freezing. He told police a story that still gives people chills. He said he saw 2 sets of headlights up the road. He saw people standing near them. He saw a woman holding a baby. He was certain. He called out to them. He screamed for help. He yelled into the freezing dark. Then the lights went out. The people vanished. Silence. He spent the whole night in his car, shaking, scared, confused. The next morning, he saw the white Mercury. It was empty. He didn't understand. Police searched the area. They found no woman, no baby, no extra footprints, nothing, just the tracks of 5 men. They led away from the Mercury and into the deep woods. Who was the woman? Was she real? Did Joseph imagine her? Or did she lead the 5 men somewhere? Into the trees? Into the dark? Police filed a statement. They moved on. But the question never went away. The winter of 1978 was brutal. Snowstorm after snowstorm hit the Sierra Nevada. Search teams tried to get into the mountains. They couldn't. The snow was too deep. The roads were impassable. The families waited. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Gary's mother talked to reporters. She begged for information. She described Gary's smile, his laugh, his love for his family. She kept his room exactly as he left it, waiting for him to walk through the door. Ted's grandmother sat alone in their small house. She missed him terribly. He was her helper, her company, her world. She didn't understand. She just wanted him home. Jack Hewitt's father searched on his own. He drove to the mountains. He looked at maps. He walked where he could. He never stopped looking. Spring came. The snow began to melt. Search teams planned to go back in. They would find answers. They hoped. They had no idea what they would find. June 4, 1978. almost 4 months after the men disappeared. A crew of utility workers drove up a rough forest road. They were checking power lines. The road was muddy from melted snow. They came around a bend and saw a small trailer. A U.S. Forest Service trailer, used by workers in the summer, but it was only June. No one should be there. One worker walked up to the window. He peered inside. At first, he saw nothing, just bunks and supplies. Then he looked closer. A shape on a bottom bunk, a person, a man wrapped in sheets, not moving. He yelled for the others. They broke the door down. The smell hit them first, then the sight. A man was dead on the bed. It was Ted Weyer. He was wrapped in at least 8 sheets. His feet stuck out. They were black. Frostbite had destroyed them. He had been dead for months. The workers ran out. They called police. The search was over, but the nightmare was just beginning. Police arrived. They secured the scene. The first thing they noticed was the door. It was locked from the outside. A heavy metal strap held it shut. Someone had to break in. Who locked it? Why? Was it to keep something out, or to keep someone in? Inside, the scene was baffling. Ted Weyer had clearly been alive in that trailer for weeks. He had lost nearly 100 pounds. An autopsy later showed he starved to death. He also froze to death. But here's the part that makes no sense. The trailer was stocked with supplies. Right next to Ted's bed was a big metal locker. It was full of food, freeze-dried camping meals, cans of soup, cans of vegetables, crackers, enough food to feed 5 men for a year. Ted never opened it. He never touched it. There were heaters in the trailer, brand new, still in boxes. He never used them. There were heavy winter coats hanging on hooks, warm blankets folded on shelves. He never used them. He took sheets off the other bunks and wrapped himself in those. He starved and froze while surrounded by everything he needed to live. A medical book was open on a table. The page was about treating frostbite. Ted had tried to follow the instructions, but he had no supplies, no medicine, no way to save himself. A box of matches sat nearby, unused. He never lit a fire. He never even tried. Then they found something that made the case even stranger. A pair of shoes on the floor. They were not Ted's shoes. They were Gary Mathias' shoes. Gary had been in that trailer. He was there with Ted, but Gary was gone. The search expanded around the trailer. Days later, searchers found 2 more bodies in the woods, not far from the trailer, just a short walk into the trees. Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were huddled together against a fallen log. They had died from the cold. They must have left the trailer and tried to walk for help. They didn't make it. Months later, a deer hunter found a human skull in a clearing. It was Jack Hewitt. His remains were scattered far from the others. He had walked in a different direction, alone. No one knows why. 4 bodies found. 1 man still missing. Gary Mathias was nowhere. His shoes were in the trailer. So he was there. He was with Ted. At some point, he left. He walked away from the trailer. He walked away from his shoes. He walked into the freezing forest in his socks. He was never seen again. Not a bone, not a scrap of clothing, nothing. He simply vanished. Gary Mathias had schizophrenia. Without his medication, his mind would have been a nightmare. The voices would have been loud. The shadows would have moved. The fear would have been overwhelming. The stress of being lost in the mountains would have made it worse. The cold, the hunger, the fear. His brain would have turned against him. He might have heard voices telling him to run. He might have seen things that weren't there. He might have thought he could fly. He might have thought he could walk on water. Some people believe Gary had a break from reality. He might have thought they were being chased. He might have led them up the mountain to escape something only he could see. He might have found the trailer and thought it was a safe place. Then something scared him. Something made him take off his shoes and run. Maybe the voices told him to. Maybe he saw something in the dark. He could have walked for miles without feeling the cold. His mind was sick. His body would have kept going long past the point of sanity. He could have fallen into a river. He could have crawled into a cave. He could be anywhere in those vast mountains. His body may never be found. The locked door haunts everyone. Who locked it? Why? Think about it. The door was locked from the outside. That means someone was outside when they locked it. Someone left the trailer and barred the door behind them. Was it one of the men? Did they lock it to keep warm? Did they lock it to keep animals out? Did they lock it to keep something else out? Or was it someone else? Someone who came to that trailer. Someone who left Ted inside. Someone who locked the door and walked away. If it was one of the men, why would they leave Ted alone? He was weak. He was dying. They had food. They had heaters. Why not help him? If it was someone else, who were they? The woman with the baby? Someone else? Did they take Gary? Did they leave Ted to die? There is no evidence, no answers, just questions. The untouched food is the detail that breaks people. Ted Wire starved to death. His body wasted away. He lost 100 pounds. He must have been in agony, hunger pains, weakness, confusion. And right next to him was a locker full of food, enough to feed 5 men for a year. He never opened it. Why? Was he too weak? Did he not know it was there? The locker was right next to his bed. He had to know. Was he scared to open it? Did someone tell him not to? Did he think he had to save it for the others? Did he think they would come back? Was he waiting for permission? Waiting for someone to tell him it was okay? He died waiting. He died hungry. He died cold, with everything he needed inches away. Joseph Shawns saw a woman holding a baby on that mountain. He was sure of it. Police found no evidence, no footprints, no tire tracks, nothing. But what if she was real? What if the 5 men saw her too? What if she led them somewhere? What if she was part of something darker? Some people think the men were not alone. Some think someone else was on that mountain. Someone who knew the area. Someone who knew the trailer. Someone who locked that door. There is no proof. But the question lingers. Who was she? Where did she go? Why was she there? Everyone has a theory. Let's look at the main ones. Theory 1. Gary's breakdown. This is the simplest theory. Gary had a psychotic episode. He led the men up the mountain. They got lost. They found the trailer. Ted got too weak to move. The others tried to walk for help. They died. Gary wandered off and died alone. The locked door was an accident. The untouched food was confusion or fear. It is sad. It is tragic. But it makes sense. Theory 2. Foul play? This theory is darker. Someone else was on that mountain. The woman with the baby. Or someone else. They met the men. They led them to the trailer. They locked the door. They took Gary. They left the others to die. There is no evidence. But the locked door is hard to explain. The untouched food is hard to explain. The woman with the baby is hard to explain. Theory 3. Government experiment. This one is wild. Some people think the men stumbled onto something secret, a military test, a government experiment. They were taken. They were silenced. The trailer was staged. There is zero evidence for this. But people love conspiracy theories. Theory 4. All died naturally. This is the official theory. They got lost. They died. Gary's body is somewhere in the mountains. The locked door was a mistake. The untouched food was confusion. The woman with the baby was a hallucination from Joseph's heart attack. It is boring, but it might be true. The families never got closure. Gary's mother died without knowing what happened to her son. She kept his room ready until her last breath. She hoped until the end. Ted's grandmother died alone. She never got over losing him. Jack Hewitt's father searched for years. He walked those mountains. He never gave up. He died with questions. Bill Sterling's parents went to their graves wondering. Jack Madruga's sisters still think about their brother. They remember his smile. They remember his car. The case is still open. It sits in a police file. Yellow pages, faded photos, cold. But the families are gone. Most of them passed away without answers, without closure, without their boys. Let's list the questions one more time. They never go away. Why did 5 men drive 70 miles in the wrong direction? They knew the way home, but they kept going. Up into a blizzard. Why? Why did they leave a running car? It had gas. It had heat. It was safe. But they walked into the snow. Why? Who was the woman with the baby? Did Joseph Shawns really see her? Did the men see her too? Did she lead them somewhere? Why did Ted Wire starve to death next to a locker full of food? The food was right there. He never touched it. Why? Why was the door locked from the outside? Who locked it? Was it one of the men? Was it someone else? Why did Gary take off his shoes? His shoes were in the trailer. He walked out in his socks. In the snow. Where was he going? What was he running from? And where is Gary now? Is his body somewhere in those mountains? Will it ever be found? Or is he gone forever? The Sierra Nevada mountains are vast. They are cold. They are unforgiving. They do not give up their dead easily. Bodies can disappear forever. They can fall into crevices. They can be covered by avalanches. They can be eaten by animals. The mountains keep secrets. The Yuba County Five went to a basketball game. They ended up in a frozen nightmare. 1 man starved with food at his side. 3 others froze in the woods. 1 man vanished completely. The mountain holds the truth, and the mountain is not talking. The story lives on. People still talk about it. They write about it. They make videos and podcasts. Everyone wants to know what happened. But no one knows. Not really. There are theories, there are guesses, there are possibilities, but no answers. The case is a hole in American history, a mystery that will probably never be solved. 5 friends went out for a night of fun. They never came home. Their story is a warning, a puzzle, a ghost story. Remember their names: Bill Sterling, Jack Hewitt, Ted Wire, Jack Madruga, Gary Mathias. They were real. They had families. They had dreams. They had a basketball game the next day. They were not famous. They were not rich. They were just 5 friends from a small town. And they disappeared into thin air. The White Mercury is gone now. Probably scrapped years ago. The trailer might still be there. Or maybe it was torn down. The mountain is still there. Cold. Quiet. Waiting. And somewhere in those trees, maybe Gary Mathias is still waiting too. Waiting to be found. Waiting to go home. Waiting for someone to solve the mystery. But the years go by. The snow falls. The secrets stay buried. The Yuba County Five are lost forever, and all we have left are questions. The case remains open. If you have any information, contact the Yuba County Sheriff's Department. Gary Mathias is still missing. His family never stopped looking. Some mysteries never die.